Thank you, Mr. President. Senators, I bring before you a solution to all of the above problems. So lend an ear, if you will. Lend an ear. I don't think I can restate with as much clarity the great passion and clear thinking of the senator from the 54th. He put before us a real question all of us must answer when we vote red or green today. Are we sent here at the behest of business and industry to just protect and carve out their special interest as we see fit? We will answer that question today when we vote red or green on this legislation as it currently exists. The senator from the 54th amendment provides at least some forced relief valve that would make a future legislative body take this under consideration, and I think that has some great merit. But I offer an even better solution today. I think just recently in this legislative body, we thought that the manufacturers, we saw fit to protect the manufacturers of alcohol, homebrew, or whatever you want to call it. We thought they should be able to sell, Senator from the 6th, pay attention. We thought they should be able to sell direct to the consumer without a dealer, without a wholesaler, without some intermediary just adding cost to the project. And I think that's a pretty good idea, and I think the vote of this body reflected that. A couple years ago, we decided we were going to bring into this state a business model that was different from anything else we do here in this state. We brought into this state the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, thanks to some very hard work of some senators that are even here today. The Cancer Treatment Centers of America deliver a product in a way very different from the status quo. And I wonder if any of you would vote today to exclude them from our state. I don't think the answer to that would be yes. So the question for us today is, are we free market people? Do we support the free market? Do we support the ingenuity and the innovation and the investment companies like Tesla put forth to better our society and provide consumers with options? Or do we prefer the heavy hand of government to protect special interests? Your vote today will answer that question. You will either use the heavy hand of government to continue to protect special interests in this state, or you will agree with the well-stated arguments of the senator from the 54th that we cannot be in the business of writing legislation for a single business in this state. Several years ago, we passed a tax credit specifically for one industry in the computer animation or that type of industry related to motion pictures. It was so narrowly drawn, it could only apply to one company. We passed that, and I don't think that's a good idea. With Amendment number 2, which I put forward before you today for your consideration, does exactly what Tesla wants it to do. It does not undermine any of our dealers, I think 3 of whom serve here in the Senate, any of their business models in any way, shape, or fashion. It leaves the protections that the law provides for those dealers in place as they have been for the last 25 plus years. So Amendment number 2 simply says, we go into the law, and follow along with me if you will, it will allow that any manufacturer who does not currently, listen to this, it'll allow that any manufacturer who does not currently sell their product through a dealership in Georgia would be allowed to set up a dealership if they so choose. No date limitations, no sunset clause. if you want Georgia to be open for business, if you want Georgia to invite investment, ingenuity, and more workers to Georgia, then you would support this amendment. This amendment does not undermine our dealers. It does not force this body to come back and play favorites once again. It allows this body to say today, Georgia is open for business. It's open for anyone willing to take the financial risk to start an automotive manufacturing company, which is no small order. So I would ask your favorable consideration for amendment number 2. It simply strikes, and I'll be specific with it so you understand. If you look on lines 44, if you look with me there, that number 5, that was an exemption. And what's interesting about this, of our car dealers who are here, I'm wondering if any of them had their car dealerships when you go back to 1999. Because item number 5 at line 44 was put into the law by our previous legislative body, and it protected a very specific business. Anybody who had a business in place that did this as of January 1, 1999. So what we propose with our amendment is something simple. We strike the old language, and number 5 would allow that the ownership, operation, or control by a manufacturer who has never sold its line of make or model of new motor vehicles in this state through a franchised new motor vehicle dealer could open such a business in this state. My friends, that is a pro-business, pro-Georgia idea. The rest of the amendment simply strikes all the new language on line 62 through 74, which would no longer be necessary, because Tesla would then be allowed to come into Georgia and do what they think is best for their business model. General Motors, Ford Motor Company, Toyota, Honda, Nissan, I don't want to leave anybody out, Kia, Hyundai, any of the rest of them could be, I think Yugo may have been the 1999 exemption. Any of them are not put at a disadvantage by this bill. Every one of them had the opportunity to create what Tesla has done. Every one of them were allowed to create what Tesla has done, but they didn't do it. Let's not use this legislative body to control the marketplace, my friends. We do it far too often. This may be your best opportunity to do something proactive for all Georgians this year with your simple yes vote. Mr. President, I'll yield to any questions, or I will be glad to yield the well.
Senator from the 6th, you didn't have a question, right? Okay, everybody want to speak to, okay. No further questions, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President.